Good afternoon, ma'am. This is Marian Salvares from Entrep 2C. And here are my explanation for the following question. Question number 1. What is meant by the term leverage? How are operating leverage, financial leverage, and total leverage related to income statement? So, a term leverage is used to describe as the ability of a firm fixed cost assets or funds to increase the return of its equity shareholders. Or we can define leverage as the employment of fixed assets or funds for which a firm has to meet the fixed cost or fixed rate of interest obligation, irrespective of the level of activities attained or a level of operating profit earned. So, this financial leverage, operating leverage, and total leverage is related to income statement because we all know that income statement is the financial statement that shows company's income and expenditure. So this operating leverage is related because it concerned with the relationship between the sales and the operating profits, while the financial leverage is concerned with the relationship between profit and earning per share. And the total leverage is related to sales and earning per share. Question number 2. What is the operating break-even point? How do changes in fixed operating cost, the sale price per unit, and the variable operating cost per unit affect it? So, operating break-even point is just simply indicates the number of units that company's product produced and sold, at which point the company's net income becomes zero. Or we can define as a point at which sales revenues covers all the fixed costs and variable costs but produces no profit. So, how do changes to fixed operating costs? So, a firm operating break-even point is sensitive to its members' variables, the fixed operating cost, the sales price per unit, and the variable operating cost. So, when an increased cost to fixed operating cost and the variable operating cost, it tends to increase the operating break-even point. Whereas when increase in the sales price per unit, it tends to decreases the operating break-even point. Question number 3. What is operating leverage? What causes it? How is the degree of operating leverage measured? So, operating leverage we can define as the use of fixed operating cost to magnify the effect of the changes in sales on the firm's earning before interest and taxes. So, what causes it? Operating leverage will cause when a firm has fixed operating cost. So, when an increase in sales result in more than proportional increase in EBIT. So, when a decrease in sales result in more than proportional decrease in EBIT. So, how degree operating leverage measured? Degree operating leverage measured the firm's operating leverage. It can be calculated by subtracting the variable cost of sales and dividing that number by sales minus variable cost and fixed cost. Question number 4. What is financial leverage? What causes it? How is the degree of financial leverage measured? So, financial leverage refers to the use of debt to acquire additional assets, or we can define the financial leverage as the use of fixed financial costs to magnify the effect of changes in earnings before interest and taxes on the firm's earnings per share. Financial leverage will cause when an increase in the firm's EBIT result in more than proportional increase in the firm's earning per share, whereas a decrease in the firm's EBIT result more than proportional decrease in earning per share. So, how is the degree of financial leverage measured? The degree of financial leverage measures the firm's financial leverage. It can be calculated by dividing the percentage change in earning per share by percentage change in earnings before interest and taxes. Thank you.